The rain had started hours ago, the kind that never stops, just lingers like an unanswered question. I walked into the cafe because it used to be ours. The smell of coffee hit me first. Then laughter, familiar laughter. I froze. Maya's voice, light, musical, cruelly familiar, drifted across the room. She sat near the window, her hand brushing against Leo's. For a second, my brain refused to believe what my eyes saw. My best friend. My girlfriend. The same booth where she once told me she loved me. Leo noticed me first. His smile faltered. Maya turned, and her expression flickered between shock and guilt before she forced a smile. "Ethan," she said. "Hey," I walked closer, my hands trembling. "Hey, that's all?" Leo leaned back, pretending to be calm. "Sit, man." "Let's talk." "Talk?" I repeated. "Sure, let's talk about why you're sitting where I used to sit." Maya sighed. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." "Harder?" I said, laughing bitterly. "You're having coffee with my best friend, Maya. I think that's already hard enough." She looked away. "We didn't plan for you to see us like this." I felt something snap inside me. "Then when were you planning to tell me?" Leo shifted uncomfortably. "Look, don't say it just happened," I cut in. He shrugged, still trying to act casual. "Because it did." I stared at him. "You're unbelievable." He leaned forward. "We didn't mean for it to go this far, okay? But things change. People change." I looked at Maya. "You changed?" Her lips trembled. "Leo understands me in ways you never could." The words landed like bullets. Each syllable chipped at something inside me I didn't know could break further. I forced a laugh, though my voice cracked. "Understands you? That's the excuse you're going with?" She clenched her hands. "You always wanted everything to stay the same. Simple, predictable." I needed more. More, I repeated softly. "So you found more in him?" Leo put his arm on the table, his tone flat. "Don't take it personally, man. It just happened. That was it, the phrase." The cliche that made betrayal sound like gravity. I looked between them, the woman I loved and the friend I trusted. My throat felt tight. "I was there when you two fought," Leo said quietly. "She came to me for advice." "Advice?" I said. "Was that before or after you started sleeping with her?" Maya flinched. "Ethan, stop." "No," I snapped. "You don't get to control this conversation anymore." The cafe grew quieter. People pretended not to look, but their silence pressed in. "You know what's funny?" I said, forcing my voice to stay calm. "You once told me you're my peace." She looked up, eyes glassy. "I meant it. Then why burn it?" Her lips trembled. "Because peace felt boring after a while." The honesty stung worse than the lie. Leo ran a hand through his hair. "Ethan, don't turn this into a scene." I turned to him slowly. "You've already made it one," he sighed. "Look, we didn't plan to hurt you. You'll find someone else." That's when I laughed. Loud, raw, bitter. "You think that's what this is about? Replacing her? You think love's a job opening?" He frowned. "I'm trying to make this easier." "For who? You?" Maya's voice cracked. "Please stop." I looked at her. The same eyes that once looked at me like I was everything. Now they couldn't even meet mine. "How long?" I asked quietly. She hesitated. 3 months. I nodded slowly. 3 months, I repeated. "And you kissed me last week." She closed her eyes. "I didn't know how to let go." Leo's jaw tightened. "She didn't want to hurt you." I turned to him. "You don't get to defend her. You broke 2 promises in one," he stood. "You're overreacting." "Overreacting?" I whispered. "You took my life and called it a misunderstanding." Maya whispered something I barely heard. "I never meant to fall for him." "Then why did you?" She opened her mouth, then shut it. "I don't know." That answer hurt the most. I stepped back. "You know what the worst part is? I would have forgiven you if you told me the truth." Her voice broke. "Would you really?" I looked at her one last time. "No," I said softly. "But at least you wouldn't have looked this small while breaking me." Leo rolled his eyes. "You'll get over it." I stared at him, a hollow calm settling in. "You think so?" "Yeah," he said, smirking. "You're too soft for this world anyway," I smiled faintly. "Maybe, but softness doesn't make me weak. It just means I'll heal clean. You'll rot in your own dirt." He glared but said nothing. Maya's tears finally fell. "Ethan, please," she whispered. "Don't hate me." I looked at her for a long time. I don't hate you, Maya, I pity you. You traded loyalty for excitement, and excitement fades faster than love ever does. I turned toward the door. Ethan, Leo said, voice sharp. You're walking out? Yeah, I said quietly, because staying would mean I still care. The bell over the cafe door jingled as I stepped outside. The rain hit my face, cold, relentless, cleansing. Behind me, their voices blurred into the hum of thunder and traffic. I whispered to myself, it didn't just happen, you made it happen. And for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel broken. I just felt done. The days after that cafe blurred together, like smudged ink on wet paper. I woke, worked, slept, but nothing felt real. Food tasted like cardboard. The phone buzzed with messages I didn't open. Every sound felt like her voice, until even silence started sounding like her. On the third morning, my brother banged on my door. Ethan. Open up, I groaned. Go away. He didn't. Of course he didn't. Tom never left me alone when I needed it least. The door burst open. He stepped in, holding a paper bag and his usual disappointed look. You look like hell, he said. Thanks, I muttered. I was going for that. He tossed the bag onto the table. Eat. I'm not hungry. You haven't been hungry for a week. Then maybe I'm consistent. He sighed, pulling up a chair. You can't keep doing this, man. I'm fine. Fine? He scoffed. You look like a ghost who forgot how to haunt. I rubbed my temples. Can we not do this? Do what? He asked. Watch you rot in your own apartment while pretending you're okay? I stared at the floor. You wouldn't understand, he leaned forward. Try me. Tom, she... I stopped, the word she feeling heavier than her name. She was everything. No, he said firmly. She was a part of your life. Not your life, I glared at him. That's easy for you to say. He crossed his arms. You think I've never been there? You think you're the first guy to get gutted by love? I didn't respond. He continued, quieter now. You don't heal by hiding, Ethan. His words hit harder than I wanted to admit. I stood, pacing the small living room. Everywhere I look, I see her. That cafe, the park, even my playlist. Then change it, he said. Stop bleeding for someone who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. I gave a hollow laugh. That's poetic. It's true, he said. You can either stay broken or start rebuilding. Rebuilding what? My pride, my heart? Yourself, he said simply. That's all you ever had to begin with. I fell silent. The truth in his voice was uncomfortable. He stood and placed a hand on my shoulder. You've always been the one who fixed others, Ethan. Maybe it's time you fixed you. I don't even know where to start. He smiled faintly. Start by eating the damn sandwich I brought. Despite myself, I laughed. It felt strange, like stretching a muscle I hadn't used in ages. He grinned. There he is. I took a bite. It was cold and awful, but somehow it tasted like effort. Later that night, I sat on the couch scrolling aimlessly through my phone. Old photos popped up, Maya smiling at sunsets, me holding her hand. I stared at them until my chest hurt. Then I deleted everyone. My phone buzzed again. A new voicemail. The name glowed like a wound. Maya. My finger hovered. I shouldn't listen. I knew that. But pain has a way of convincing you that reopening the wound helps it heal. I hit play. Her voice filled the room. Soft, hesitant. Ethan. I don't know where to start. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you like this. I wasn't thinking. I hope you can... I stopped it, then I deleted it. The sound cut off mid-word, leaving only silence. A silence that felt cleaner than her apology ever could. For the first time, I didn't want to hear her voice again. Tom called a few minutes later. You still alive? Barely. Good enough. Baby steps. I hesitated. She left a voicemail. Did you listen? Half of it. And? I deleted it. There was a pause. Then he said, Good. You think so? Absolutely, he said. Silence is louder than begging sometimes. I leaned back on the couch. Maybe I just didn't want to feel anything. He chuckled. That's the point, genius. The less power you give her, the faster you heal. Then why does it still hurt? Because pain doesn't check the calendar, he said. It leaves when it's ready, I sighed. You sound like Mom. Someone's got to keep the wisdom alive, he said. I smiled faintly. Thanks, Tom. Don't thank me yet, he said. Tomorrow I'm dragging you out of that cave you call an apartment, I groaned. Hard pass. Not optional. Why? Because healing starts with sunlight. Sounds like something you read on a mug. Yeah, he said. One that worked. I laughed again. Small, real this time. Fine, tomorrow. Good, he said. And Ethan? Yeah? Proud of you. The line went dead, but the warmth stayed. After he hung up, I sat there in the quiet, the sound of rain tapping against the window. It wasn't the cruel storm from before, just soft, steady rain. I whispered to no one. I deleted her. It felt strange saying it aloud. Final. My chest still hurt, but it wasn't the same kind of pain. It wasn't drowning anymore. It was breathing through water, slow and deliberate. I grabbed a notepad and wrote, Day 1. Silence hurts less than lies. The ink bled slightly, like my thoughts still learning to stay steady. For the first time since the cafe, I didn't feel like a victim. Just a man learning to live without someone he thought he couldn't. I leaned back, watching the raindrops slide down the glass. Each one carried a reflection, small, fleeting, and gone before it mattered, and maybe that was love too. Work felt like a stage I'd forgotten how to act on. Everyone else seemed rehearsed, smiling, chatting, moving with purpose, while I just mimed through the motions. The screen in front of me blurred, words turning into static. I didn't even notice her until she spoke. You look like someone pretending to be fine. I looked up. Lena stood by my desk, holding a mug with a crooked Keep Smiling print. Her hair was tied back, her expression unreadable. I'm fine, I said automatically. She tilted her head. That's what people say when they're not. I tried to smile, but it cracked halfway. You're new here, right? Careful. Analyzing your coworkers might get you fired, she chuckled. Only if they mind being seen. Something about that sentence stuck with me. She placed the mug on my desk. Coffee. Or maybe courage, depends on how you drink it. I stared at it, unsure whether to thank her or guard myself. You always this forward? Only with people who look like they've been running from something, she said softly. I blinked. You're surprisingly observant. It's a curse, she replied. Makes small talk impossible. Despite myself, I laughed. Small, unsteady, but real. Her eyes softened. There it is, a real laugh. I was starting to think you'd forgotten how. I looked down. Maybe I had. She gave a quiet nod. Then start remembering. That evening, I stayed late at the office. The world outside had turned silver with rain. The reflection on the window looked like a stranger. Tired eyes, forced calm, someone pretending he hadn't been broken. The sound of footsteps pulled me out of my thoughts. Still here? It was Lena again, holding an umbrella and a half smile. Couldn't sleep, I said. Or didn't want to. Maybe both. She leaned against the desk beside me. You ever feel like your life cracked and you're the only one still trying to tape it together? I glanced at her. That specific? Yeah, she smiled faintly. Guess that's why I noticed you, I frowned. Because I look broken? No, she said, eyes steady. Because you look like someone trying not to be. For a second, I couldn't speak. The words hit deeper than I wanted them to. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. My stomach dropped before I even looked. Leo. Of course. Sorry, I muttered to Lena. Need to take this. She gave a quiet nod and walked away, leaving only the faint smell of coffee behind. I stepped into the hallway and answered. What do you want? His voice was casual, too casual. Relax, man. I'm not here to fight. Then what are you here for? He hesitated. To talk. About? Maya, I exhaled through my teeth. Of course, he continued, tone shifting. She's miserable, Ethan. You should have fought harder. I laughed short and hollow. You stole her, Leo, remember? How exactly was I supposed to fight that? It wasn't like that, he said quickly. We just connected. While she was still with me. Silence. Then he said, she misses you. I almost pitied him. Almost. She misses what she destroyed. There's a difference, he sighed. You think you're better than me? No, I said quietly. I just learned faster. What's that supposed to mean? That love isn't something you win by taking it from someone else, he scoffed. You sound self-righteous. Maybe, but at least I can look in the mirror without flinching. He didn't reply. The silence between us stretched, heavy and familiar. Finally, he muttered, "You know, she thought you'd fight for her." I smiled bitterly. She mistook love for possession. And you mistook winning for keeping. His voice cracked slightly. You don't understand her. No, I said. But you don't either. Then I hung up. Back at my desk, the office was empty now. Only the rain kept me company. Lena's mug still sat beside my keyboard. Keep smiling, it said. I whispered to the reflection in the window. Easier said than done. But then I thought about her words. You look like someone pretending to be fine. She was right. I was pretending, hiding behind sarcasm and silence, building walls out of pride and pain. For months, I'd blamed Maya and Leo for what they took. But now, sitting there, I realized I was the one still giving it away. Every time I let them occupy my thoughts. I picked up the mug and took a sip. It was cold, bitter, but grounding. Lena's voice replayed in my head. You look like someone trying not to be broken. Maybe that was enough for now. When I left the office, the rain hadn't stopped. It soaked through my jacket, cold against my skin. But I didn't run, I let it. Because for the first time, I wasn't trying to escape the storm. I walked to my car slowly, each step feeling less like retreat and more like release. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring, or if I'd ever stop thinking about what I'd lost. But for the first time since that day at the cafe, I felt something close to control. Not happiness, not peace, and just the faint, steady rhythm of a heart learning to beat on its own again. As I started the engine, I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror. The same tired eyes looked back, but there was something new there, something honest. I smiled faintly and whispered, "He still believes love is a prize to be stolen." Then I drove away, letting the rain erase everything behind me. My phone rang just after midnight. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something, maybe habit, maybe fate, made me swipe. Ethan. Her voice was shaky, thin, almost unrecognizable. Maya? She sniffed. Yeah, I didn't know who else to call. My heart slowed, but my fingers clenched. It's been months, I know. Leo's gone. He left me. For a second, the room felt smaller. I stood by the window, the city lights blinking like distant judgment. What do you want me to say? Nothing, she said quickly. I just need to talk, please. There was a pause. I could have hung up. I should have. But something inside me, the part that used to believe people could be fixed, kept me quiet. Where? I finally asked. The cafe, the one you used to take me to. Please, Ethan, just this once. The cafe hadn't changed. Same dull lights, same worn-out tables, same smell of burnt coffee. What had changed was her. Maya looked smaller, fragile in a gray coat that swallowed her frame. Her eyes were swollen, her lipstick smudged. When she saw me, her lips trembled. You came. Curiosity, I said flatly. Not nostalgia. She nodded like she deserved that. Maybe she did. We sat in silence for a while. The air between us was heavy, years of words unsaid pressing down. Finally, she spoke. He used me, Ethan. I didn't flinch. Leo? She nodded. He said he loved me. Promised me everything. Then he took what he wanted, my trust, my money, my faith, and left. That sounds familiar, I said before I could stop myself. She winced. I deserve that. I leaned back, my voice calm, detached. You knew what you were doing. You made your choice. Tears pooled in her eyes. I thought I was choosing love. No, I said quietly. You were choosing excitement. You wanted the rush of something new. You called it love so you wouldn't feel guilty. Her fingers shook as she held her cup. You think I don't hate myself enough? I met her eyes. Hating yourself doesn't undo anything. It just keeps the wound open. She bit her lip, trembling. Do you hate me? That question lingered. Months ago, I would have said yes. But now the anger felt like dust, something I'd already swept away. No, I said. Hate needs energy. I've moved past that. She looked stunned, almost offended by my peace. How? How can you just move on? By realizing you don't deserve space in my head anymore. Her voice cracked. You make it sound so easy. It wasn't, I said. It took every night of silence, every day I wanted to scream. But one morning, I woke up and realized I hadn't thought about you for hours. That's when I knew it was over. She wiped her eyes. You sound different. I am. Maya looked down, twisting the napkin in her hands. Leo told me once he never really loved me. He said he wanted to see if he could take something that wasn't his. I stayed quiet. She laughed bitterly. Guess he won. No, I said. He lost the moment he needed to take something to feel important. Her breathing hitched. And me? You lost when you thought betrayal would make you happy. She nodded slowly, tears slipping down her cheeks. You were right. All those things you said about him. I just didn't listen. I didn't expect you to, I admitted. People only listen after the noise destroys everything. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing quietly. I ruined everything, didn't I? I looked at her, really looked at her. Once those same hands held mine. Once I believed those tears would never come because of me. Now all I felt was a quiet detachment, like watching an old film whose ending I already knew. You ruined us, I said softly. But you didn't ruin me. Not anymore, she looked up. You've changed. Pain does that, I said. It teaches you what peace actually costs. For a moment, she just stared at me, like trying to memorize the version of me she never knew existed. Do you ever miss me? She asked. I thought about it. Her laugh, her perfume, the nights I mistook comfort for love. I miss who I thought you were, I said finally. But she never really existed. Her lips quivered. If I could go back. You can't, I interrupted. Neither can I, she nodded, defeated. I wanted to say sorry. You already did, I said. And I already forgave you. You just weren't around to hear it. She blinked in confusion. When? The day I stopped caring. Her sob turned into a broken whisper. You really don't hate me. I don't have to, I said, standing up. You're already doing that for both of us. I left money on the table, enough for her coffee, maybe a cab home. She didn't look up as I walked past her, but I heard her whisper, You were always the better one. Outside, the rain had started again. I stepped under it, letting it soak into my shirt, my hair, my bones. The cold felt clean, like absolution. I didn't look back through the cafe window, though I knew she was still sitting there crying into her cup. Realizing the silence I gave her wasn't cruelty. It was closure. As I crossed the street, a thought surfaced. Quiet but sharp. She wanted me to hate her because hate means you still care. But I didn't. And that was my freedom. The night air was heavy, but I breathed easily. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled, soft and low, like the sky itself was letting go. I smiled faintly. Not out of triumph, but peace, because for the first time in years, the past called back and I didn't answer. The rain had stopped weeks ago, but something in me still felt washed clean. Maybe it was the quiet. Maybe it was Lena. She became a constant, showing up with 2 coffees every morning like it was routine. You take too much sugar, she said once, sliding my cup across the desk. I like things sweet, I replied. She smirked. Yeah, but not too sweet, right? Learned that the hard way? I blinked, caught off guard. You don't hold back, do you? Why should I? She asked, sipping hers. People waste years pretending to be polite when honesty could save them. I leaned back in my chair. Honesty can also burn bridges. Then maybe they weren't worth crossing. That was Lena. Soft voice, sharp truths. She didn't dig into my past, but she saw right through its shadows. Over the next few weeks, the rhythm of my life changed. No dramatic shifts, just lighter mornings, quieter evenings, steadier breaths. We'd talk about everything except the one thing that started it all. One afternoon, we sat outside the cafe, sunlight filtering through the awning. She watched people pass by while I stared at the steam rising from my cup. You still think about her, don't you? She asked gently. I shrugged. Sometimes, but not in the way I used to. What way is that? The kind that hurts, she nodded. Pain fades when you stop feeding it, I smiled faintly. Guess I'm finally starving it. She tilted her head. If you met her again, what would you say? Nothing. Nothing? Silence would say it for me. Her smile grew small but knowing. You sound peaceful. I'm learning. Lena tapped her fingers on the table. You know, peace isn't loud. It's when you stop explaining yourself to people who never listened. That's poetic, I said. She laughed. I'm full of borrowed wisdom. My friend Ava says things like that all the time. Ava? My cousin, she said. She's the kind of person who forgives everyone, even people who don't deserve it. I thought about that. Sounds exhausting. It is, Lena said. But she says forgiveness isn't for them. It's for her. Then maybe she's onto something, I said quietly. Lena studied me. You're not angry anymore, are you? No, I said. Anger's heavy. I carried it too long. I just don't feel anything toward her now. Indifference, Lena said. That's the real ending. We sat there watching a couple argue across the street, the kind of argument that used to feel familiar. Now it looked distant, like a movie scene from a life I didn't belong to anymore. Funny, I said. I used to think love was supposed to be loud, constant calls, endless declarations. But maybe it's just quiet understanding, Lena smiled. Like this? I looked at her. The calm in her eyes, the easy silence between us. Yeah, I said softly. Like this. That night I got a text. Maya, I saw you with her. You look happy. I hope she treats you right. I stared at the screen for a long time. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I didn't need to say anything. For the first time, her words didn't pull me backward. They didn't sting. They didn't echo. They just existed, harmless, weightless. I locked my phone and set it face down on the table. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was full as of peace, of distance, of quiet victory. A few days later, Lena noticed. You seem lighter, she said. Maybe I am. You finally text her back? I smiled. No, I finally didn't need to. Her eyes lit up. That's progress. I didn't realize silence could be an answer. It's the best kind, she said. The kind they can't argue with. We walked along the riverside after work, the city lights flickering on the water. For once, I didn't feel the need to fill the air. She didn't either. When she finally spoke, it was soft. You ever think we meet people just to learn how to let them go? I nodded. And sometimes we meet others to remind us how to stay. Lena smiled at that, her hair catching the wind. You think I'm one of those? I looked at her, really looked at her, and said, You're the calm after everything else. She laughed lightly. That's not very romantic. I don't think I'm looking for romance anymore, I admitted. I'm just looking for real. Then maybe that's what this is, she said. We walked in silence, the kind that felt easy, the kind that didn't need fixing. Later that night, I opened my journal, something I hadn't done in months. I wrote one line, Some people break you to teach you what healing feels like. Then I closed it, smiling faintly. Maya was somewhere out there, chasing apologies or ghosts. I didn't know. But she no longer lived in the corners of my mind. The space she once filled now belonged to laughter, to quiet moments, to the warmth of someone who didn't demand pain to prove love. Maybe this was what peace really looked like. Not fireworks, not revenge, just soft endings and new beginnings. Lena had once told me, You don't owe anyone a response that costs you your calm. And tonight, I finally understood. Because for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel broken or bitter. I felt free. Tom burst into my office around noon, holding his phone like it was breaking news. Did you see it? He said, eyes wide. See what? Leo Harris. He's finished, I frowned. What do you mean finished? Tom grinned in disbelief. Corporate fraud. Misused client funds, fake invoices, everything. The company's letting him take the fall. It's all over social media. I leaned back slowly, letting the words sink in. He always thought he was untouchable. Karma's doing its job, Tom said. I gave a small nod. It usually does, he hesitated. You okay? Yeah, I said quietly. I think I am. That evening, the city was drowning in lights and noise, but inside my apartment, everything was still. I made coffee, scrolled through the headlines, and saw his name again and again. Leo Harris, fraud, scandal, collapse. The world that once adored him now tore him apart. A strange calm settled in me. Not satisfaction, just closure. I thought about calling Maya, then dismissed the idea instantly. The past didn't need witnesses anymore. It was close to midnight when the knock came. Loud, uneven. I hesitated before opening the door. Leo stood there, unshaven, eyes glassy, shirt untucked, the smell of alcohol heavy around him. He gave a crooked grin. Hey, old friend, I didn't move. You shouldn't be here. I didn't know where else to go, he muttered, stumbling slightly as he stepped inside without waiting for permission. He looked around like he was searching for a piece of his old self in my quiet apartment. Still neat, huh? Always the organized one, I crossed my arms. What do you want, Leo? He dropped onto the couch, rubbing his temples. Everything's gone, Ethan. The job, the money, her. Maya? He nodded, laughing bitterly. She left the moment things got bad. Guess love has conditions, huh? I said nothing. He looked up at me, eyes unfocused. You must be happy now. Watching me fall apart? No, I said calmly. I just don't care. That made him flinch. You really don't, do you? I shook my head. You stopped existing to me the day you betrayed me. Whatever's happening now, that's between you and the choices you made. He leaned forward, voice slurred. She was supposed to love me. I studied him quietly. You wanted her to worship you, Leo, not love you. He froze. What's the difference? Love accepts you, I said. Worship owns you. You never wanted a partner. You wanted an audience. He stared, blinking hard. You think I don't know that now? Knowing doesn't mean changing, I said. He laughed again, hollow and cracked. You always talked like a philosopher. Guess that's how you survived? No, I said softly. I survived because I learned silence hurts louder than revenge. He looked around the room. The books. The faint hum of the city through the window. You seem peaceful. I am. He groaned, burying his face in his hands. I wanted everything you had. The calm, the respect. The life that looked so small but felt so safe. I wanted to prove I could take it and make it bigger. And did you? I asked. He lifted his head. No, I ruined it. I ruined her, me everything. I sighed. That's what happens when you build on someone else's ashes. His voice cracked. You think I didn't love her? I think you loved the idea of winning, I said. And when you realized she wasn't a prize, you didn't know what to do. He slumped back, silent. The seconds stretched thin between us. After a while, he muttered, You're better than me. No, I said. I just stopped needing to prove I was. He gave a weak smile. Guess that's the difference between peace and pride. Exactly. He sat there for a long time, staring at nothing. When he finally spoke, it was barely a whisper. I keep replaying it, you know? That day in the cafe, you walking out. She called your name. You didn't turn around. I remember, I said. She said you'd come back. She swore you would. I didn't. He looked at me, almost pleading. Why? Because I wanted to live, I said simply. Not bleed forever. He nodded slowly, eyes glassy. You did, huh? You lived. I'm still learning how, I replied. He leaned back, staring at the ceiling. You think I deserve this? It's not about what you deserve, I said. It's about what you chose. Leo laughed softly, but it broke halfway. You always did talk in riddles. Maybe. But you understand this one, don't you? He swallowed hard. Yeah, silence again. Just the sound of rain starting outside, faint but steady. Finally, he stood, swaying slightly. Guess I should go. You should, I said. At the door, he paused. You ever think about what might have happened if we hadn't... No, I interrupted. Because we did. He looked down, nodded once, and walked into the rain. I watched him disappear down the street, a man who once burned too bright, now barely casting a shadow. For a long time, I stood there listening to the rain hit the pavement, wondering if he'd ever understand that what destroyed him wasn't betrayal or karma, it was ego. Tom texted me an hour later. You hear about Leo? Heard he's leaving town, starting over somewhere. I typed back, good. Maybe he'll learn what peace costs. Then I put my phone away, sat by the window, and closed my eyes. The rain sounded softer now. Not like sorrow, like cleansing, and for the first time in years I realized I didn't feel anger, pity, or victory. Just stillness. Leo Harris had fallen, and I hadn't lifted a finger. The message came in the afternoon. Maya, can we meet? Just once, please. I stared at the screen for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but curiosity isn't easily silenced, so I said yes. Not for closure, I already had that, but for clarity. The park was quiet when I got there. The air smelled like rain that never came. I saw her sitting on a bench under an oak tree, her hands twisting the strap of her purse. She stood when she saw me, her voice trembling. "You came." "I did. I didn't think you would." "Then why ask?" She bit her lip. "Because I needed to say it." Out loud, I nodded once. "Then say it." She exhaled shakily, eyes darting toward the ground. "It was all a game." I said nothing. "I thought breaking you would make me feel powerful," she continued, her words spilling faster now. "I was angry, jealous, stupid. Leo made it sound like you were the safe one, the boring one. I wanted to prove him wrong." I stared at her, the weight of her confession hanging in the air. "And did you?" She blinked, confused. "Did I what?" "Prove him wrong." Her shoulders slumped. "No, I proved him right." The silence that followed was thick. For once, I didn't fill it. I let it sit between us. Her guilt, my calm, the ghost of what we used to be. Finally, she whispered, "You must hate me." I shook my head. "No," she frowned. "You should." "Hate needs energy," I said softly. "You took that from me long ago." Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know how cruel I'd become until I saw myself through you." "You didn't see me," I said. "You saw a mirror that reflected what you wanted to believe, that love makes you weak." "You were wrong." Her breath hitched. "You loved me. Really loved me. Why didn't you fight for me?" "Because love isn't supposed to be a war," I said. "And if I'd fought, I'd have lost more than you. I'd have lost myself." She covered her face with her hands. "I ruined everything." "No," I said. "You ruined what wasn't meant to last." She looked up, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "You sound so different." "Pain teaches tone," I replied. "You wouldn't recognize my voice if I'd never broken?" Her lip trembled. "Leo's gone. Everyone's gone. I don't even know who I am anymore." "Then maybe that's your beginning," I said. "The same way losing you was mine." She reached for my hand. I stepped back. "I just want to make it right," she said, voice breaking. "You can't fix something you chose to destroy," I said. "You can only learn from it." Tears spilled freely now. "You won't even forgive me?" "I already did," I said. Her eyes widened. "When?" "The moment I stopped caring about the apology." She shook her head in disbelief. "You can't mean that." "I do," I said. "Forgiveness isn't about you, Maya. It's about letting go of everything that used to control me." She sobbed quietly. "You make it sound so easy." It wasn't, I admitted. It took time. Time to realize that closure doesn't come from hearing sorry. It comes from understanding I don't need it. Maya wiped her eyes, but more tears followed. "You used to be so gentle." "I still am," I said. "Just not toward the things that hurt me." She tried to smile through her tears. "You always knew how to turn pain into poetry." "It's not poetry," I said. "It's survival." Her voice broke again. "If I could undo it all, you can't," I interrupted. "None of us can." She stared at the ground. "Then what do I do now?" "Live," I said. "The punishment isn't what happens to you. It's what you remember." She nodded slowly, her breathing uneven. "You're not angry at me. You're not even cold. You're just done." "I was done a long time ago," I said. "You just noticed it now." Her hand brushed against the bench beside her. "I miss the version of you that loved me." "He doesn't exist anymore," I said quietly. "He grew up." Her tears fell harder. "You sound just like the kind of man I prayed you'd never become. And you became exactly the kind of person I used to save." She flinched, covering her face. "I deserve that," I sighed. "You deserve peace, but it's not my job to give it to you." She nodded weakly, whispering, "You mistook kindness for weakness, and that's how you lost." I stared at her for a moment, then said softly, "No, Maya, you mistook my love for blindness. That's how you lost." Her sob was small but raw, echoing under the trees. I turned to leave. As I walked away, I didn't look back. The sound of her crying trailed behind me, not like guilt, like closure. There was no revenge in my chest, no pride, no pleasure. Just a strange lightness, the kind that follows when you stop carrying someone else's ghosts. By the time I reached my car, the first drops of rain began to fall. I smiled faintly at the sky. Maybe it was cleansing both of us. Later that night, my phone buzzed. "Lena, sometimes forgiveness isn't mercy. It's freedom." I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed back, "You're right." Before I could hit send, I stopped, smiled to myself, and deleted the reply. Some words didn't need to be spoken anymore. I set my phone aside, leaned back, and closed my eyes. The rain outside tapped against the window, steady and soft, like peace had finally found its rhythm. I wasn't angry. I wasn't broken. I was free. I hadn't seen Mrs. Hall in years. The small bookstore smelled the same. Dust, old pages, and something warm like time refusing to move forward. She looked up from behind the counter, eyes widening when she saw me. "Ethan?" I smiled faintly. "It's been a while." "Good heavens," she said, adjusting her glasses. "You look different." "I feel different," I said. "That's probably the better part." She laughed softly. Still as polite as ever. "What brings you here?" I reached into my bag and placed an old novel on the counter. Its corners were worn, the cover slightly faded. "This belongs to you, or rather, to someone who borrowed it years ago." Mrs. Hall squinted. "Maya?" I nodded. She lent it to me. Said I'd love the ending. I never finished it. Her expression softened. "You came all the way here just to return this?" "Not for the book," I said quietly. "For the peace that comes with returning things that don't belong to me anymore." She smiled, the kind of smile that saw through people. "You did what most can't, Ethan. You let go." I looked around the store. Every shelf, every book reminded me of the years I spent trying to hold on. To people, to memories, to pain that defined me. "Letting go doesn't happen all at once," I said. "It's more like learning how to stop picking at the same wound." Mrs. Hall nodded knowingly. "You're wiser now." "I just stopped mistaking survival for living," I said. She chuckled. "That's wisdom." As I turned to leave, she called after me. "Ethan? Yeah? You're allowed to be happy, you know." "You've earned it," I smiled, genuinely this time. "I'm getting there." That evening, I walked down to the pier. The sky was heavy with gray, clouds swallowing the last hints of sunset. The sea smelled like rain and memories, and somehow both felt the same, old and cleansing. Lena was already there, leaning against the railing, her hair tied loosely, a cup of coffee in her hand. "You're late," she said without looking at me. I stopped by the bookstore. "Returning your usual ghosts?" "Something like that," she smiled, finally turning to face me. "You still hate the rain?" "Not anymore," I said. She raised an eyebrow. "Really? The guy who used to sprint for cover at the first drop?" "I guess I learned the rain doesn't ruin you," I said. "It just shows who's willing to stand in it with you." She stared at me for a moment, eyes soft. "You've changed." "I had to," I said. "Otherwise, I'd still be the man waiting for apologies that never mattered." She handed me the spare cup she brought. "Black coffee." "No sugar," I smirked. "You remembered." Hard to forget the guy who used to drown his pain in caffeine and sarcasm. "Don't forget irony, too," I said. She laughed quietly. "You really are lighter now." I took a sip, staring out at the waves. Maybe peace just tastes like this, simple, bitter, but real. We stood in silence for a while, watching the water darken as the first raindrops began to fall. The wind carried the scent of salt and storm. "You ever think about her?" she asked suddenly. "Sometimes," I said. Not out of longing, just curiosity. Like looking at an old scar and remembering how deep it was. "And Leo? He taught me something," I said. "What's that?" "That you can steal love, but not loyalty. You can take someone's time, but never their truth." Lena nodded slowly. "So what's your truth now?" I looked at her, the faint drizzle softening the world around us. "That pain doesn't make you deep. Healing does," she smiled. "That's something Maya would never understand." "Maybe she does now," I said quietly. "But that's her story, not mine." The rain grew heavier, dotting her shoulders and hair. She held out her hand, palm up, letting the drops fall against her skin. "Still don't like umbrellas?" "Never needed one," I said, stepping closer. "I've got you." Her laugh was soft, real, the kind that fills empty spaces without trying. Our fingers brushed, then intertwined, like it was always meant to be that way. No drama, no promises, just the quiet certainty of two people standing where storms once raged. "You think this is what peace feels like?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah, not fireworks. Just stillness after the noise." The rain kept falling, washing away everything that didn't matter anymore. The names, the anger, the ghosts. I turned to her. Mrs. Hall said something today. Oh? What's that? She told me I did what most people can't. I let go. And she's right, Lena said softly. Funny thing, I added. Letting go doesn't feel like losing. It feels like breathing again. She squeezed my hand gently. That's what happens when you stop chasing what's gone. The wind shifted, carrying the sound of the waves crashing against the pier. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting it all sink in. The rain, the peace, the woman beside me. Maya's face no longer haunted my memory. Leo's voice no longer echoed. The past had finally run out of places to hide, and for the first time, I wasn't looking back. I looked at Lena, calm, grounded, real, and smiled. She thought Leo loved her, I said quietly. Until his truth broke her illusions. Lena tilted her head. And you? I thought pain defined me, I said. But it didn't. It refined me. She smiled. That's beautiful. I looked out at the sea again, rain glistening on the surface like scattered glass. But fate didn't punish her. It healed me. Sometimes the greatest revenge is peace. Lena leaned her head on my shoulder. You sound like a man who finally forgave the world. Maybe I did, I said. Or maybe I just stopped needing it to apologize. The rain fell harder now, but I didn't move. I let it cover me completely, soaking through every layer until I couldn't tell the difference between cold and clean. I took her hand again and whispered, the man I was loved chaos. The man I became loves calm. She smiled through the rain. Then don't lose him. I won't, I said. Not this time. And as the waves crashed against the pier and the storm hummed like music, I knew the story was over, not because I found someone new, but because I finally found myself.